I'm Derek Joyce and I'm here with Paul O'Murda, and this is I'm Not the Expert, but this is a podcast where we'll discuss everything from the most complex ideas that we know nothing about to the simplest ideas that we probably know nothing about either. So put the kettle on, get comfy and join us. In honour of Friday the 13th. There's loads of people get scared about Friday the 13th.
Not at all.
No.
Not in the slightest.
I know people that put all their itinerary for the day. Itinerary or itinerary? I think it's
itinerary, I would say.
But anyway, they put all their stuff that they have to do for the day off because it's Friday the 13th.
Nonsense. Utter fucking nonsense. I'm sorry. I just find it ridiculous.
But
utterly ridiculous.
In honour of Friday the 13th,
yep.
And because the first one was so enjoyable,
yeah,
Very Superstitious 2.
Part 2. Okay, so what idiots have we got this week now?
They're not idiots.
Just for anyone listening,
nobody's an idiot.
I'm not superstitious. Well, actually, no, hang on. I started part 1 very much like this as well, in the same vein, saying I'm not superstitious at all. And then as you went through it, I went, yeah. I do that one.
No, I'm still not, but I do absolutely subscribe to the knock on wood tradition.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely
because the Celts used to invoke the spirits in the tree when they were entering a forest, which I
loved it.
Love.
I absolutely loved that one. That was my favourite.
Yeah.
I still have, kind of silly little superstitions when I'm watching football and stuff. Have to sit in the same chair, have to wear the same jersey, otherwise Liverpool lose.
Sorry folks, I said people aren't stupid, but they are. Paul just demonstrated. I have to. You're like Mr. Bean. You know the way his TV goes, is the interference, and he ends up taking his clothes off and putting them all on the seat and Jesus Christ. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, go on.
Okay, no, I don't do that. Okay.
Tell me about other stupid people and what they believe.
In Ireland, 4-leaf clovers are considered lucky. I remember when I was a kid, my cousin brought us down to a local clover patch.
Right.
And we looked, she took us down one by one because we were only kids, and we looked for 20 minutes and we all found a 4-leaf clover.
Cool. So that's rare, do you think?
She'd been telling us about it and we were going, no, we've never seen them. But I mean, when you're looking at a patch of clover, you
have to go through each one individually.
How quickly are you going, there's a 4-leaf one. So she says, no, she was so convinced and she was correct.
Yeah.
But she was so convinced that there would be enough 4-leaf clovers, she offered to take us down one by one.
Cool.
And she was risking the upset of one of us of not finding one, but she knew we would.
She was confident that there was lots.
So we went down, we looked, and there was 4-leaf clover down.
Cool.
Like,
the 4-leaf clover really pisses me off because it's so misused by Americans mostly, not exclusively, but as a symbol for Ireland.
So it's not the 4-leaf clover that pisses you off.
It's the misuse of it. It's using it where they should be using a
shamrock. It's people misusing it piss you off.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Where they should be using a shamrock.
Okay.
It's a symbol of Ireland. No, it's not. It really isn't. The shamrock is the national symbol of Ireland. It has 3 leaves. It was used by supposedly used by St. Patrick to explain the Holy Trinity, 3 gods in the one thing, blah, blah, blah. 4-leaf clover is completely useless for that task.
The 4-leaf clover symbolises faith, love, hope and good fortune.
There you go.
That's each one.
Yeah.
Like not the Holy Trinity.
That's cool, yeah.
The Holy Trinity.
But that's where the whole Ireland shamrock thing comes from.
It does have symbolism attached to it.
No, it does, but it's not... You see it all the time. Happy St. Patrick's Day and it's a 4-leaf clover on the fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, I would have said that the shamrock is a poor version of the clover because it only has 3 leaves.
Yeah, but it was because, as I said, the myth of St. Patrick, that he used that to explain to the pagans the Holy Trinity. He used the shamrock.
That's invoking fucking...
I know, but that is
bullshit.
The myth. But that is the official reason that the shamrock is a symbol of Ireland.
Who decides what the official reason for something being a symbol of Ireland is?
The founders of the state, I suppose.
Fuck
initially,
off,
I know. Yeah. Come here. totally agree with you. The harp I can get on board with, but not the shamrock.
Okay.
Definitely.
Anyway.
But I hate when the Americans use the 4-leaf clover as a symbol for Ireland. It fucking does me head in.
Okay.
So just take note, Americans. It's the shamrock. That's our national symbol, not the 4-leaf clover. Go.
I think you're getting tied in, not about nothing.
No,
there you
go.
Anyway, if a person walks under a ladder and spits at the same time, they mitigate the effects of bad luck from walking under a ladder.
Well, if I see them spitting, they're going to have bad luck fairly shortly because it's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd give them bad luck, but you are a scumbag if you spit anyway. Fucking dirtbags. In ancient Egypt, it was believed that the triangular space created when a ladder is leaning against a wall is where both good and bad spirits resided. And if you walked under it, you disturbed them.
Okay.
Which is much better. I think is a great... I mean, I won't be superstitious about it ever. I'm not going to be.
I don't walk under ladders because...
I think it's a great tale. That it's like, don't fucking walk under there because the evil spirits live under there. Love that. That's deadly. No. That's lending.
I don't walk under ladders because shit'll fall on you.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Murphy's Law states if something can happen, it's gonna happen. Yeah. So if you walk under enough ladders, isn't it Murphy's Law states?
No, it's not. I don't think that's Murphy's Law. Is it? Maybe. Andrew's on the back of a 5 €.
If you can't refute what I'm saying, stop fucking
maybe it is. Maybe it is.
I think it is. But anyway,
Sod's Law,
if something is gonna happen, it will happen.
Something can happen, it will happen.
If you're walking under a ladder enough times, something's gonna fall on your head at some stage.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't walk under fucking ladders, you
exactly.
moron. It's thought that walking under a ladder angers spirits, which I did say, but I didn't say it was forbidden. It was thought it'd anger spirits, so it was forbidden. And it would have been forbidden by the legislative or the pharaoh, or it would have been passed down. But see that fucker walking under that ladder going, fucking
arrest
fuck him up.
Yeah. Arrest him.
So you couldn't.
Seize him.
It's not like, it wasn't like, I don't believe in it, so I'm going to do it.
And these are the same people who...
It wasn't like, I don't believe in it, so I'm going to do it.
And this is the ancient...
You couldn't do it.
And this is the ancient Egyptians who we discussed in part 1, or in the first version of this podcast. It was also illegal for a poor person to own an umbrella.
And wasn't it illegal for it to open it in door because it enraged Ra?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Weirdos.
Well, you know what? They built pyramids, so I'm okay with them.
Did they though?
Yeah, they're deadly.
Nobody built the pyramids, they were landed there.
Fuck off. Go home and watch Stargate. Apparently, it's bad luck to say God bless you to your cat or dog. Fuck you, man. That's all I have to say if you don't say God bless you to your cat or dog. Not that I'm religious.
No.
But
Gesundheit will do. Your
cat or dog deserves a God bless you as much as anybody else in your house.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that. Yeah, everyone's from now on, everyone is getting a dog bless you off me.
Dog bless you.
Yeah. Fucking everyone.
Everyone who sneezes.
I don't care. I'm just dog bless you. Everyone's going to get it, and if they look at me and go dog, and I go yep. Everyone's getting a dog bless you.
Dell's a massive dog lover. I am as well.
Animal lover.
In fairness. Yeah, no, Dell loves his dogs, don't you, Dell?
That's fucked
like
up.
Dogs, do you?
That is like dogs. That's a fucking terrible thing. What? Bad luck. Someone saying bad luck.
Bad luck to say God bless you.
Don't say God bless you to your dog or cat. And somebody might. It just might be a habit. The way you say God bless you to everybody. Bless you. God bless you. And if your dog sneezes, someone lets off a bless you.
I'd imagine it'd be pretty much bad luck in your house to tell you not to say God bless to your dog.
You're leaving. Pick your fucking door because you're leaving. Pick a window. Yeah.
Preferably an upstairs one.
Fuck that. Totally differently. While sweeping with the broom, if you sweep the broom across someone's feet, apparently it embodies black magic and witchcraft.
Wow.
And I think
so that's why Ma used to always say feet up when she'd be sweeping around the house.
Well, no, she probably wanted you to fucking move your feet.
Yeah.
You know? But I think this is a Middle Eastern thing. Okay. And I remember vaguely something about it and thinking, I can see why they'd be sweeping a broom across the floor so regularly because there'd be
Sand.
so much dust and sand and all that kind of crack.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I think it's Middle Eastern. I could be wrong. But apparently if you sweep the broom across someone's feet, it invokes
black magic.
Yeah. Just fucking weird. And witchcraft. Okay. In 1584, it was thought if you take your cat with you when moving, it's considered bad luck.
Why only in 1584?
I don't care. But I'm seriously getting pissed off with these fucking superstitions.
Abandon your fucking animal.
Jesus Christ. We're moving house. Leave the car. Fuck's sake. Is it any wonder witchcraft and black cats and all that kind of shit became so prevalent in the Middle Ages and the latter Middle Ages? Jesus.
So many abandoned black cats running around the place.
Yeah. Fucking awful. That's seriously pissing me off.
Yeah.
In Japan, it's normal to hide your thumbs inside your index and middle finger when passing a graveyard.
Okay, that goes back to your hand signal thingy as well, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
and I really like this.
Is that like, well, I say us, is that like, old school Irish people blessing themselves going past the graveyard?
Nope. The thumb is considered the parent finger, inverted commas.
Right.
The parent finger of the hand.
Right.
So that's considered protecting your parents when you pass a graveyard.
Oh, okay.
And hide your thumbs.
You're not getting me ma.
Or me dad.
Yeah.
But that's I think that's lovely. I think that's really nice. I think it's great.
Kind of cool, yeah. Yeah,
and that goes
going in there,
right back to honour your father and mother kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think that's a real honourable thing to do. I think it's great.
That's cool.
I'm not going to start doing it.
No.
But I think it's lovely. I think it's really good.
Yeah, but come here, listen, nobody does honour and respect like the Japanese anyway.
Yeah,
they're amazing.
They're just a great people. They're a great culture.
Absolutely.
Hiding your fingers, your thumbs, in your hand is offensive in Turkey, Russia, and Indonesia, and it's known as the fig.
Right.
So if you do it in Japan, passing a graveyard,
it's
kudos.
Respecting your family. If you do it in Turkey,
if you do it in Turkey, Russia, and Indonesia,
you're pissing somebody off.
Yeah, because it's called the fig.
Why is it called the
fig?
fig?
I went to school with a guy, and when he made fists, because he was a sensational boxer, he was amazing.
And you're supposed to thumb inside his fist.
He put his thumb before he did boxing. Yeah, he put his thumb inside his fist. Yeah, and then he was trained out of him when he started doing boxing. But he was a great boxer. He was brilliant. Never sit at a table with 13 people.
Because one of them will fucking sell you for silver, is it?
That's what it is. It's related to Jesus Christ.
No way.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I wouldn't worry about sitting at a table with 13 people. I'd worry about sitting at a table with a fucker who's counting his pieces of silver.
Silver, yeah.
That shit. But yeah, so
I've seen a really interesting myth. It was a shitty movie. It was either Dracula 2000 or Dracula Reborn or something.
They both sound atrocious.
Awful. It did get a cinema release. It wasn't straight to VHS, but it was that kind of. But the theory of this movie was that Judas was actually the first vampire. So if you remember, how did Judas die in the Bible?
I don't fucking know.
He committed suicide. He hung himself.
All right, okay.
Right. So as his punishment, God made him immortal.
Okay.
He couldn't die. He couldn't show his face in the daytime because he would be recognised as Judas. Yeah. And he was terrified of fucking crucifixes because
Yeah, well, obviously somebody sat around a production table meet.
Yeah, and he could be killed by silver.
Yeah, and they came up with this.
Yeah.
And they went, that's plausible.
It's an interesting theory, though.
Moderately
I don't think Bram Stoker was anywhere on that when he invented Dracula, but I mean...
Sounds terrible.
Oh, it's an awful movie. Awful movie, but I just thought it was an interesting twist. It wasn't revealed at the very end of the movie that, he was actually Judas. It was a weird movie. I don't remember anything else about the movie, actually. Just remember that twist.
Yeah.
I remember it being an awful movie.
That sounds terrible.
So if anyone can remember what that movie is, it's also sad
to yourself.
No, let us know on Facebook. It does actually wreck my
please.
head which one it is,
I'm sure you can Google the information.
I probably could.
Yeah, you could. You're just lazy. Effort. Yeah, okay, see. Okay, if you receive a knife as a gift, steak knife, hunting knife, fish knife, or whatever,
Don't accept it.
Fucking accept it. You're gonna offend the person giving it to you. But if you receive a knife as a gift, and it's not advisable to ever give a gift of a knife,
Okay.
but be sure to mitigate the bad luck that's brought to you by receiving a knife or giving somebody a knife
By charging them for it.
giving a penny to the gifter.
Yeah, I've heard of that one before, actually.
When I was a kid, my auntie sent around a bunch of steak knives to the house, and my ma brought them home and said, "Here, take that around to your auntie," and it was 5 cents.
Right.
And I was like, "What? 5 pence?" It
Yeah.
was that longer. And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Give that to your aunt. She'll know exactly what it's for." And I was like, "I'm not fucking going around to give her a fucking
5 cent piece.
5 cent piece." And she was like, "No, she'll understand what it's for." And it got to the point of, get out that door and bring it around to your auntie. So I did. I went around and she opened the door, and I had this puzzled look on my face.
My
and
ma
went,
said, "Give you this."
Ma sent that around, and she took it and she was delighted. And she was like, "Tell your mum, thanks very much." And I went back home. I was like, "What the fuck?" And my mum said she gave us steak knives. Never gift anybody steak knives without them giving you a penny.
Yeah.
And never take a gift of steak knives or any knives without giving them a penny.
Yeah.
Because it's believed to sever the friendship.
Oh, okay.
That's the superstition.
Right. Jeez, that's mad.
It's nuts. And it's mad how it's gained traction. Because my auntie's probably a little superstitious, but my mom wouldn't be superstitious.
Yeah, there's a lot of old traditions that are viewed as traditions, which are really just superstitions. But people take them so seriously, like.
Yeah.
It's mad. I don't understand that.
I don't do superstitions. I do knock on wood, but I don't do superstitions.
I do knock on wood and I wear my lucky jersey and watch the match in the same chair every week, but that's it. No, because I moved once and I didn't wear my jersey and we lost a fucking European Cup final, so I ain't taking that chance again.
You're an idiot. You've got to read about how the universe works, and that's not how it works, man.
I'm still blaming myself for that.
If you use chopsticks,
I do.
Never leave them standing in a bowl of rice.
Oh, I've heard this one. I know this one.
You know, I've been in restaurants
I know
where
exactly why this one is.
They've come out with a bowl of rice with my dish, whatever it was I ordered, with chopsticks stuck in it.
Oh.
I remember that happened once or twice.
Oh, that's not nice.
And I didn't go, what the fuck is this?
It
didn't occur to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're going to tell us why, aren't you?
Yeah, of course I am. But don't leave them standing in a bowl of rice. Many people in China and Japan believe it too closely resembles incense sticks sticking out of a pile of ashes that used to be a person.
Yeah. Yep. Now, you're saying you've had that happen to you in a restaurant. Was that brought out to you by a Chinese person?
A server, yeah.
An Asian server?
A Japanese restaurant, yeah.
Oh, that's a massive no-no.
I don't know. That's not a massive no-no to me. That's
but in their culture it would be like a huge fucking faux pas to do that.
Yeah,
that's
well,
bizarre.
there you go.
They are now, folks. Or maybe I'm completely wrong, but yeah, no, I had definitely heard of that one before that.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's not that bad to me. Anyway.
As you know, I'm getting married next year.
Yep.
As well as being mad expensive and mad stressful and everything else.
True that.
Something else I've discovered in organising the planet. The superstitions around getting married, like, oh, it's mad.
I remember, what is it, fucking something robbed, something new, something
old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Yeah, that's one I have here. It's actually funny where that comes from, though, right? Something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue, as the saying goes, are all talismans meant to ensure a successful marriage from the get-go. In days gone by, something old was meant to ward off evil spirits.
Okay.
So that's why you wore something old on the day, was to keep the evil spirits away. Something new was a sign of the future, and a good, prosperous future. Something borrowed was for luck, and something blue showed loyalty to your future spouse. Which I know Lisa's going to be very surprised.
Okay, are we talking blue as in colour?
Yeah.
Or are we talking, that's a bit blue, as in adult material?
It can be a bit of both, I think, can't it? Yeah, it's interesting you say that, actually. But yeah, because I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, fucking.
And you do
Yeah.
often get a
Jeez,
naughty
can you imagine
present.
rocking up to a wedding with a present? Here's your porn. Here's something blue. Yeah, fucking hell.
But it's interesting though because Lisa's bridesmaids dresses are blue, so she's showing loyalty.
Okay.
Not sure that's why she picked it. She just likes the colour. Yeah, so now it's just a great excuse to add something sentimental to your dress.
Right.
You know, like something your own mother wore on her wedding day is quite popular now. So I'm sure
Okay, and that might be something borrowed.
Yeah.
And something blue might be down to your interpretation of what blue is.
Yeah.
But something old, something new. Does that mean somebody gives something old?
Yes.
So it's gifted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And something
Usually,
new is obviously a gift, a new gift as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, right. Now the big one there that I mentioned to you before, remember when we had that really good weather 2 or 3 days and then it pissed rain the next day?
When we had our season of summer.
Yeah, and
Right.
then it just pissed
3
after
days.
that, yeah. It was all over Facebook and everyone was saying, who brought the bloody child of Prague in? Have you ever heard that myth about the child of Prague?
No.
Right,
I've heard of the term child of Prague.
Right.
I'm...
You know what it is?
No.
Right.
Is it a picture? One of those stupid holy pictures hanging on the
No,
wall?
it's a statue. Right, of a little boy in like papal dress with a crown and he has an orb and a scepter.
Does he live in Prague?
I'm assuming he's
Right,
some
okay.
kind of a miraculous or saint from Prague. I don't know exactly what the origin is. It's a Catholic symbol anyway.
Right.
But anyway, the superstition goes that if you put the child of Prague outside on the night before your wedding, it guarantees a sunny day for the wedding.
Okay.
So
What if somebody nicks it? What if you put it outside and somebody nicks it?
Oh, that would have a serious hoodoo now.
Would it?
Oh, you'd be inviting
And what the fuck is a
serious bad
hoodoo?
luck on
What's
you.
this hoodoo
You'd be
bullshit?
inviting serious bad luck, like.
For who?
For the person who stole it.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. Child of Prague.
Nah,
Jeez,
that's
you can't be stealing Child of Prague and
bullshit, man.
you'd piss off baby
That's
Jesus.
bullshit. That sounds to me like
You'd piss
teenagers around Christmas time robbing wreaths off graves and making those fucking... What are those things, particular things you hang in your door?
Wreaths.
Wreaths.
Yeah.
The Christmas wreath.
Yeah.
But robbing funeral wreaths,
No way.
repurposing them and selling them for a tenner.
No way. Is
Yeah,
that a
you've heard
thing?
that. Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God.
Totally.
Yeah, scumbags. Robbing off graves.
It's a thing.
That's horrible.
Is it an entrepreneur or is it a scumbag?
Well, there
Well,
you go,
they're usually
yeah,
the same fucking thing. aren't they?
Yeah, true enough, yeah. Well, you're right, hang on now, we're both entrepreneurs.
Nah, not me.
Well, I was for a while.
You were. You
Failed
scumbag.
entrepreneur. Failed entrepreneur. I was too nice. Carrying the bride over the threshold, yeah? In American rom-coms, the groom is regularly seen carrying the bride over the threshold of their room.
Bumps her
after
head
they
on
tie the
the
knot.
wall. Yeah.
Yeah,
On the door frame.
frequently, yeah. The reason behind this, however, is not just because the bride is in bits from her stilettos. It's to ward off evil spirits lurking below, seeking to pounce on the new bride.
Okay.
That's one theory.
Okay.
The other one being that it was in the Middle Ages, it was to suggest that the bride wasn't exactly enthusiastic. You know, the chaste and virgin bride wasn't exactly enthusiastic about going to the marital bed, so she was carried there. Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit
Basically, you know,
misogynistic.
Yeah, but no, it's more not misogynistic in a way that it's protecting the bride's reputation. Like, she wasn't mad for it, you know?
You know,
She
that's
had
very
to be
fucking tenuous.
taken to the bed.
No, she wasn't willing, so she had to be carried there.
Not even willing.
Get that
but it's-
fuck out of
but
here,
it's
man.
more to do with, like, you know, she wasn't jumping into the bed going, let's go. Do you know what I mean? She wasn't a free and easy woman.
That's not the way I'd interpret that at all.
Yeah, no,
That's
I thought
terrible.
it was more beat you over the head and carry you in.
That's
That's more what it
brutal.
sounds
That's like
yeah.
caveman
Yeah.
dragging woman home by the hair bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I won't be
That's
carrying
fucking
my bride
awful.
anywhere, not with my back.
That's
Jesus,
fucking
not
awful.
a chance. Now, the ring finger.
Yeah.
The third finger on your left hand.
Yeah.
Do you know why that's the finger that they use?
No.
Right, it's not just because it's more comfortable or, you know, people prefer it. It's actually, in the old days, they used to believe that there was a vein running through that finger straight to your heart.
Okay.
So it's, you know,
Jesus, people were
it's
really
closer to your
stupid,
heart.
weren't
I
they?
know, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so it's closer to your heart. But I think it's quite nice, though. It's a nice one.
Fucking.
The bride being like,
Okay, yeah. I remember I was at a wedding in a foreign country, and my friend stood, like they're both my friends, but he stood at the altar, and his best man left him and sat down, and it was you're waiting on your own, man. It was a choreographed thing.
Right.
I don't know whether she planned to be late or it's just fashionable lateness, but the best man stepped away from the groom because it was his moment to wait. So it was a thing.
Okay.
And I was standing up there. I was standing there going, Jesus fucking hell. And he was obviously shitting himself. You could see him planking it. But there was no doubt she was going to turn up. Like it wasn't clock's ticking, where is she? She was going to turn up. He was just anxious. It was just the anxiety.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because that's kind of, like, it is considered good luck for the bride to be even 1 minute late, you know. It's kind of traditional or whatever, but there's actually a logical and rational reasoning for it as well. Yeah. It's traditionally, as you've just said there, the groom is waiting on the bride. Right. To lead her into her future. Blah, blah, whatever. So it's basically just choreography. It's to make sure that the groom has his shit together. Okay. That he's there. Right, okay. Whereas if she arrives a little bit early and he's not even ready yet, you've got a bit of a faux pas. So yeah, that's why the bride goes late. It's just to make sure the groomsman is in position and everything's all right. Okay. And we're ready to go. All right. So there you go. Now, this is an interesting one, actually. This is what I'm probably going to do myself, because we were actually just talking about this the other day. Many couples opt to put the top tier of their wedding cake in the freezer for a year and thaw it out on their wedding anniversary and eat the cake on their wedding anniversary. That's kind of nice. No, keep for a year. I'm not saying it's not nice. I'm saying that's the first I've heard of it. Yeah, it's a new one. It could be quite an American one. Although this is an American 6 months into it, you're going looking in the freezer, looking for room, going, there's that fucking thing. You know? Yeah. It's grand to have a big chest freezer, I suppose. You can leave it in the bottom. But it's kind of nice though. Or you just get one of those fruit cakes that keeps forever anyway. Or just buy another cake the day before the bleeding anniversary. It's not the same though, is it? It's not the same. Now this one is interesting. You know when they say that the groom shouldn't see the bride on the night before the wedding? Yeah. Again, going back to the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages, there's a reason for that. And that was, back in those days, it was a lot of arranged marriages and, dowries and things like that. So when the deal was done, and it was a deal. Dowry, that's my whole fucking problem with the whole superstition. And it was often that the couple hadn't even met. Yeah. So they wouldn't allow them meet before the wedding in case one of them said, I'm not fucking marrying that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So they weren't allowed to see each other at all before the wedding, and then they would meet at the altar in front of everybody, and it'd be too embarrassing to say no. Fucking hell. Yeah. Mad, isn't it? That's nuts. And they've got reality TV shows on that now. Yeah. Married at First Sight. I know, yeah. It's crazy. And what's the other one? The 60-day fiance or the 90-day fiance? I watched none of them at all. And and up next is that it's turning the fucking thing off. Turn it over or turn it off or leave the room. Yeah, I don't want to do that stuff. No. I actually got doesn't do anything for me. Flicking through the other day and Catfish was on MTV. Ever heard of Catfish? No, haven't seen MTV since they stopped playing music. No, I haven't either. MTV celebrated 40 years there recently. Thanks for the 14 years of music. Yeah, MTV is bullshit. Yeah, but this thing Catfish did actually grab me attention though. Basically what they do is, have you heard of catfishing? Yeah. Right, so it's where you're talking to someone online and it's not who they pretend to be. Yeah. So basically a camera crew will go and expose this person for who they are or whatever, right? But it was a guy and a girl, and she had used old photographs. It wasn't even that it wasn't photographs of herself, it was just older photographs. And they had basically been in an online relationship for about 2 years. And she kept avoiding the whole meeting in person thing, So eventually he kind of got sus and he got on to Catfish, and they went and they kind of, he went with the camera crew to confront her. And it had been a girl who was in a pretty serious car accident, right? Yeah. She had almost died. The guy driving the car had died. Her mental health suffered terribly. She put on a fair bit of weight. She wasn't disgustingly obese or anything like that. She put on a fair bit of weight.
Just obese would have been good enough to say. You didn't have to say disgustingly.
Like there wasn't anything wrong with this girl, right? There really wasn't. She was quite an attractive, nice girl. She didn't look like she did in the photographs. Your man wanted nothing to do with her. Just completely free. Like, so shallow, so fucking on the surface. Like, that's not what you look like in your photographs. I do not want to see you again.
Yeah.
Don't ever want to speak to you again. Like, talk about being shallow, like. And this is the guy that's been talking to her on the phone and knows all of her personal stuff that she's been through, and he was a great friend to her through all that.
Yeah.
But because she didn't look like the thing that he had in his head, you know, the sexual attraction, whatever, he just didn't.
That's just indicative of society today.
It's disgusting. But yeah, the whole catfish thing where like they were on his side and how she lied and how she, you know, and she fucking deceived him and all that.
Yeah.
But it's just so fucking shallow.
Yeah, that's just him.
Like, she's still the exact same person, and she said that, like, everything I told you was true, everything I said to you was true. I'm that exact person, except I don't look like that anymore.
Sounds to me like you watched the whole show.
About half an hour of it or whatever,
Yeah,
but it was like...
That's a half hour of your life you're not going to go back.
I didn't see the whole kind of, you know, the early story bit. I just literally turned around when they were driving up to our house with the camera crew. But they kind of went back over it then, you know? And then they went back and visited him 3 months later, and he had spoken to her on the phone once or something in that 3 months, but he wasn't...
Fuck him.
He wasn't... Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck him.
If you're listening to this miraculously, and you're the guy that was in that show,
you're an asshole.
Fuck you, buddy. You're an asshole. She's better than you ever deserve.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. And if you're listening to this and you're that girl, fair play to you.
Yeah, fuck.
Much love.
Yeah. And I hope you find happiness.
Yes. Don't step on a crack or you fall and break your back.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
I am. The kids still do it, yeah.
Do they?
Not the second part, just don't step on a crack.
But you did not. What happens if you step on a crack if you're one of the kids these days?
It's not bad luck, I don't know.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, if you fall and break your back.
The floor is lava, you know, that kind of one.
Well, that was just a game.
I know, yeah.
That was just a game where you wreck your parents' furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, don't step on a crack or you fall and break your back. That goes back a couple of 100 years at least, I'd say. Like, everybody did it. And it's bleak or you fall and break your back. It's pretty bleak. But it used to be, there's a version of it, don't step on a crack or you break your mother's back.
Jeez, that's even worse.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was utter fear to the point where people might walk down the street just to avoid, which is probably where hopscotch came from.
Yeah.
You know?
Jumping over the cracks. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to jump into the solid numbers. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Lines,
so, that's just come to, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't.
That's interesting.
So, both outcomes are pretty bleak. It's your back or it's your mother's back. And it's never your dad's back. Fucking Maz just have a terrible time of it.
Yeah.
But if you believe the superstition and you live in Ireland, you are fucked because everything is cracked over here. It's fucking nightmare.
I was scooting down here every day. It's a nightmare.
I was walking down. I was working on in a production office up on Baggot Street, and I was going down to get my bus one day, and there was what I found out were a German couple, and my mum and dad's age, German couple, right? And they were over visiting, and she walked and she tripped over a curbstone in the middle of the path that was up, that could have been relayed at some point and just wasn't. Right. And she tripped midway through, say, her right leg coming out. So her mid-stride, she snagged her leg. So her standing foot was right beside the one that tripped.
Right. So
and she couldn't catch herself. And she hit the ground and hopped her face off the ground. And I went over. I was passing by and I went over and I had a packet of tissues on me. He didn't speak a word of English and she probably did, but she was flat in her face. Yeah. And he helped pick her up and I handed him a tissue and I indicated she hit her face off the ground. And he nodded and she got up and she was streaming blood from her nose and from her mouth just because of the state of the pavement. So if you do believe that superstition, and I got wildly off track there. Don't step on a crack or you fall and break your back. In Ireland, you are fucked.
Yeah.
You're better off not believing that.
Yeah, or you'll fall and break your nose.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ireland's walkways are not what they should be. Yeah. Let's say. Yeah. That superstition has origins as recently as the late 19th century, early 20th centuries. So let's just be safe and say it's 100 years old. It's obviously not. It's obviously much older than that. In the late, even now, but in the late 19th century, early 20th century, racism was rife in society.
Still is.
More than it is now. Like more than it is now.
Yeah, we're getting
but
back there,
it's really, really bad.
There.
I'm not saying now is good,
no,
but it was really bad then. But it was unapologetically racist. Society was unapologetically racist. And it was front and center then. Yeah. I mean, there's an undercurrent now. I'm not condoning it.
No,
I'm not saying it's better. It's getting, as you were saying, getting back to as bad as it was.
Yeah, and it's starting to become more
as bad as it was?
Center,
Yeah.
Certain
but it was
movements and stuff.
It was
being allowed to take root. It's actually frightening.
It was much worse then. And then they were building up.
Not segregation and stuff.
If not, the Jim Crow era.
Yeah.
I used to think that was some guy in politics in a position of power called Jim Crow legislated all these fucking things that were against black people.
Yeah.
He was a fucking performer.
Yeah.
He was a performer who did blackface as a theatre thing.
Yeah.
And then loads of people started doing it. And it was okay to do that. And if you go online and you look up the origins of blackface and stuff like that, and I watched a documentary about it ages ago and I was fucking in shock.
Yeah,
but
horrible. So
many stars of the silver screen did that.
Yeah.
It was fucking shocking. And you know your woman, she was the black mother in the film. I can't remember the name of it. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
My man's favourite movie, Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind, that's what. Yeah. Mammy, fantastic. The woman who played Mammy in Gone with the Wind got the Oscar for that.
That's right.
But she wasn't allowed into the auditorium, if that's what you want to call it, to receive the Oscar. And she received it in a room in the back.
Yeah.
And at the later stages, as far as I remember, she was allowed into the back of the auditorium. Yeah. But they were segregated from the white.
Wasn't that rectified a number of years later where they actually...
I don't give a fuck if it was... I don't give a... No, she was given the Oscar away.
Yeah, no, but what I mean
in the crowd.
It was...
And they might have...
Many years later, she was an old woman at this stage. They brought her in, they gave her hormone, but that doesn't make up
I don't give a bollocks if they did it the next day and got everybody back in their seats, in their dresses, in their suits. Disgusting. That's fucking gross. That's brutal.
What was the thing like that with John Wayne and the Indian...
Marlon Brando was given the Oscar and he wasn't there to accept it, and in his place was a Native American woman who got up and spoke about the way Native Americans are portrayed in cowboy films.
That's what it was,
how wrong it is, and those fucking savages, that kind of thing. Here come the savages with their arrows and their fucking war hammers or war axes, tomahawks and shit like that. And apparently John Wayne had to be restrained at the side because he wanted to go up and fucking fuck her up, break her face.
Yeah, he was a racist piece of shit.
He was
a horrible racist.
After I saw that and after I read about it, I never watched and have never watched another John Wayne movie.
I don't like his movies
and anyway, I used to watch the John Wayne movies because my dad used to love them.
Yeah, my dad used to love cowboys. Used to love them.
My dad passed away in 2010.
That's right.
So I used to watch it just...
I've been doing that a bit with
a nostalgia kind of thing. Yeah. But I apologised to my dad. I said, sorry, Dad, not watching that prick again.
Can't watch him.
And that's it. No.
I was never a fan of him. I don't know. I don't get it.
Okay, so Gone with the Wind. And it was all fucked up. And we got there from don't step on a crack or you break your mother's back. And how racist society was in late 19th, earliest 20th century. The version of it then was step on a crack and your mother will turn black.
Oh my God.
Isn't that fucking deplorable?
That is horrible.
Or step on a crack, your baby will be black.
Oh my
Isn't that
God.
fucking awful?
It is.
And that's like to kids, you know?
But even thinking back to our own childhood, we had things like gollywogs and everything, and we didn't think twice about it. Do you know what I mean? And it's mad, like, you know, just like people say, oh, everything's gone woke. About fucking time, like.
Yeah, it should never have gotten to the stage where things do need to be woke.
Yeah.
It's fucking
absolutely
awful. There was, what was that ice cream sandwich bar you used to get? Was it a gollywog?
It was a gollywog.
Yeah.
It's an iceberger now, but it was a gollywog, yeah.
And there's a black face.
Yeah.
And not a black person's face. There's a black face logo on the front of it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
I know, yeah.
And there were those sweets, those minstrel sweets.
Yeah.
Do you remember them?
Yeah. Completely normal.
Fucking nuts.
Normalised.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, like that's what they mean when they talk about institutionalised racism. Like, it's just a normalisation of being bastards, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I fucking hate white people.
Did not think we'd be talking about racism when I came in here.
Well, there you go.
Oh, just for clarity on Del's last statement there, he is in fact white.
Yeah, very
it's
white.
Okay for him to say that.
It mightn't be okay, but I fucking hate them. And I hate the way they act, and I hate the way everything is white privilege and all that kind of bullshit. It's fucking awful.
Bollocks.
Yeah, fucking bullshit. So, after all that bullshit, fuck all racists and all that kind of thing, there were other variations of don't step on a crack or you'll fall and break your back, your mother's black, baby's black, all that kind of bullshit, yeah. So in the mid-20th century, it was common to tell children if they stepped on cracks on the pavement,
they'd fall through them.
They'd be eaten by bears waiting around the next corner. It didn't even rhyme.
Yeah, no,
don't step on a crack or you're going to be eaten by a bear waiting for you around the next corner.
No, well, the one we used to get was, if you step on a crack, you'll fall through it.
Well,
I remember that one.
There was, that's
we have some pretty big cracks in Ireland. So
yeah, we do. We've more cracks than pavement.
You've got potholes that go all the way to Australia.
Yet another version stipulated the amount of bone your mother broke in her back was directly associated with the amount of cracks in the pavement you stood on. Fucking, isn't that?
This is all bizarre. Like.
Yeah, isn't that fucking weird?
Who thinks these ones up?
Like? I have no idea. And like, I think it's somebody with the same mindset as, and we'll get into it in a while, but the same sociopathic mindset of the Greek guy I'm going to tell you about later on. Yeah. It's fucking nuts. But yeah, it's that same person, and you'll be able to see how they associate with each other. So, as you were saying, the underworld. There was also a belief that cracks in the pavement led directly to the underworld.
Yeah, so you fall down the crack, yeah.
The thing was, stepping on the crack would release the demons. It wasn't you falling into the underworld, which I like much better than the idea of demons getting out from the underworld. The whole underworld thing, I think
very Ghostbusters, isn't it?
I think it's brilliant. I think it's great.
Or Ghostbusters too.
Do you remember the Halfpenny Bridge had slats across it, wooden slats?
Jesus, now that you mention it, I do.
There you go.
Oh wow!
Do you remember that? And we used to have we'd walk.
Replaced?
I don't know, but I remember.
That's mad.
I remember walking across it, and the perception of the depth perception, because the wood would obviously be moving quicker as you stepped across it because it was just beneath your feet.
Yeah.
But it was 20 feet to the water below, and there was a vertigo thing about it because there was a difference in speed.
Yeah.
In the same direction you're looking, you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
It was weird. But they replaced it with like tarpaulin solid, or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah.
Jesus,
I used to think there were monsters living under the bridge because of the slats, and they could reach up and grab kids. I was convinced of it. And after they got rid of the slats and made a normal footbridge, a safer footbridge, I felt sorry for the monsters because I wonder where they went. I was that young. I was like, they've nowhere to fucking go now. They've nobody to eat.
Oh, you've taken me right back there.
Yeah.
That's mad.
So I don't remember. What was it? 70s? It must have been 70s.
Well, I was only born in 78, so I'm going to say the 80s because I do remember
maybe early
having the
80s.
wooden slats.
Because I was young enough to be and it wasn't that I was scared of walking over them that I might fall through. It was when I started from either side and getting to the other side. That's where they lived. They didn't live under the middle of the bridge. They lived in the dark recesses that I couldn't peer into.
Yeah. And that's really fascinating because that used to be a toll bridge. So
yeah, that's right.
there would have been a guard standing on either side.
Yeah,
of that.
they charged people a fucking halfpenny to walk across that piece of shit. Fuck that.
Yeah, well, it was either that or walk probably 2 miles to the next bridge. You know?
Yeah. Well, not 2 miles, but it was all the way up.
Yeah, like there's not bridges that have been built since.
Yeah. But yeah, so fucking Halfpenny Bridge.
There you go. And if you're not from Ireland and you don't know what we're talking about, have a look on Google for the Halfpenny Bridge. I'll throw a photograph up on the Facebook. Beautiful bridge.
Try and find a picture of the old version of the Halfpenny Bridge.
I will do, yeah.
Like that might take some Googling, but see if you can find it.
Pre-70s.
Yeah. You might find something on Pinterest or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be, yeah.
Try and find something.
That's mad.
But speaking of pennies, the look of finding a penny on the street.
Find a penny, pick it up, and all day long you'll have a penny.
You'll have good luck.
Oh, that's what. Oh, there was a girl I was in art college used to always say that. Find a penny, pick it up, and all day long you'll have a penny.
She was right, yeah. It's an ancient superstition and it has origins in cultures from Italy, end of Europe, over to England, end of Europe, and all the way across to the Americas.
So it's kind of follows colonisation.
It's everywhere, but and there's nothing to do with the look of finding a penny, and there may have been luck involved in it, but it was believed that a penny or a coin was a token sent by a god to those whom he favoured.
There's those gods again.
Yeah.
All these superstitions are.
Yeah,
but a lot of them revolve around the gods.
It was it's the worth and value of the metal that the penny was made from. So that's where the luck comes from.
Yeah, exactly. If I 50 quid, you're lucky.
I was just about to say, I wonder at what point the value of the found coin changed from luck to cha-ching. Because if you found a coin, if you find a coin, like when you look at a coin, ask anybody which side is head, which side is tails, and they'll probably be able to tell you. Heads or tails. Right. So if you found a coin that was heads up, it was yours and it was sent to you by a god who favoured you more than anybody, and that's why you found it. Okay. If you found a coin that was tails up, you flip it over and leave it there for the next person to find. Because tails was meant to be bad luck. Right. And if you took it, if you went fuck this shit, and took the coin, it was bad luck. You got bad luck. So the whole thing of the coin being sent by gods to whom they favoured, if it was tails up, it wasn't meant for you. Yeah. And you don't take it. And you flip it over and leave it for the next person. For the person who it's meant for. Again, the point I made, I wonder at what point the level of value of that coin had the person go, fuck that shit, and just take it.
Oh, there's a lovely gold sovereign, is that the right word?
Yeah.
There's a lovely gold sovereign, but its tails up, I have to leave it for the next person. Bollocks. Yeah. It's going in my pocket.
But yeah, so there would have been a point where people weren't picking up coins. Now, if you're walking down the street with somebody...
I'm still the same now, like if you see 5 cents on the ground now, you're not picking it up though. Do you know what I mean?
Why?
Why? It's 5 cents.
See, that's...
Would you pick up 5 cents?
That's indicative of... I'd pick it up and I'd throw it. Like, if you look outside any shop, there's usually a bucket that's there constantly for coins for hospices and stuff like that. I would pick it up, and I'd probably pick a penny up too. And when I pass that thing, I drop all my coppers in there.
Fair
play. I might be the old man. Look at that scabby old bastard. Has nothing to eat, so he's picking up coins. That's picking them up to drop them in these bins.
Well, what I do now is, if I'm getting change that's in coins, and I mean sometimes like you're talking €2 or more sometimes, I just say to them in the shop, throw it in the box.
I'd throw it in the box myself.
Yeah.
And that's not distrust of other people. I just know where it's going if I put it there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of distrust of me.
Yeah. I suppose, no, you have a point.
Yeah.
I usually see them do it anyway. I mean, they'd have it in their hand, they put their hand in it, and just throw it in the box there. And they throw it in the box.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's the same thing, I suppose, but I wouldn't be picking up. Yeah, it wouldn't dawn on me to pick up coins like that and throw them into my box.
I absolutely would. I don't like
Every
carrying
5
around
cent
small
counts.
coins. I
No,
don't like that
that's
jingle jangle in your pocket.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's not even that much out of a kind of charity thing. Like it is, obviously. I like to do my bit for charity, but it's as much to do with I don't want bloody coins.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of appeal of those charity boxes. That's why they collect coins, because a lot of people don't want a load of coins in their pocket. You know?
It could be. So, yeah, I don't, as I said, like the jingle jangle, but I have a jar at home that I drop coins into.
Yeah.
That goes into those charity bins or baskets or whatever you want to call them. You saying if I passed a fight so I wouldn't pick it up, I probably would. Okay, it's going somewhere, but I probably would, yeah.
Fair play.
So I look like that.
Old scabby shite. He's a good man, aren't you?
Nah.
Yeah.
Right. In ancient cultures, the Romans, the English, the US, as I said, where this penny superstition was kind of ubiquitous. It was everywhere. The beliefs over metals and coppers, their coins, had a sacred significance.
Right.
So, as I was saying, it was by a god that favoured the person that the coin was left for, and if it's tails up, it's not for you. You flip it over.
You're going to have me going around now when I see 5 cent coins looking to see if they're heads or tails now, you know that, right?
I can't remember the last time I looked at a coin to see whether it was heads or tails.
You're going to have me doing it all the time now.
Yeah, well.
Flipping them over or picking them up based on what's on it. But I'm not superstitious now, not at all.
So, yeah, you're more superstitious than you believe, buddy.
I know, yeah.
Those coins, those of sacred significance, were associated with prosperity and good fortune, whereas lots of pennies today are more closely associated with prosperity and good fortune than that little penny that you found when you were living in the age of the Roman Empire or something like that. Yeah. So, we kind of have the same thing. We've just kind of
got greedy,
multiplied it by a million.
Yeah.
Lucky horseshoes. Do you have one of them, or have you ever had one of them?
I mean, my grandmother King would have had a couple of them up in the kitchen hanging on the wall.
What way?
With the shoe part, the loop part up.
Yeah, so it's closed. All the good luck is falling out.
Oh, okay.
Right now, and there are variations on that. It's not that she had bad luck. In some legends, the downturned horseshoe, and you're talking about the upturned horseshoe. The downturned horseshoe is hung on walls and especially in doorways.
And it catches the good luck, does it?
No.
Like a receptacle?
It's got good luck in it. It stops the luck falling out.
Oh, okay, so
that's what some people believe. And there's on the Discovery Channel, there's this gold hunters and gold diggers.
Yeah, no, now that you mentioned it, yes, it would have been downturned. I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, that would have been downturned.
Yeah. No, I think
mad.
There you go. Anyway.
Like that.
So the crescent form of the horseshoe was directly linked to the moon goddess of ancient Europe, Artemis,
who we've talked about
and
before.
Diana. Diana was conflated with Artemis and eventually became more popular, much to probably the chagrin of Artemis, but Diana became more popular.
You know what I think is bizarre though about this whole podcast?
What?
That no matter what subject we decide to do, the gods end up coming into it.
I think that's not this podcast. That's society.
Yeah, it's just mad.
Yeah, that's the world we live in.
Yeah, it is. All these gods, they have their fingers in every pie.
So, directly linked to the moon goddesses Artemis and Diana. In particular, her sacred vulva was worshipped. I know. I guess that became the sacred womb when organised religion got around to claiming it because it
Yeah.
was less graphic.
Yeah.
It's the human form.
It
It's a
is,
human
yeah,
female
yeah.
form.
Yeah.
But I guess it was just too graphic
Too on the
for,
nose.
for
Yeah,
organized
yeah.
religion. Yeah, and they
Yeah,
were
so
like,
we
we
go
don't
with
like
the
that.
womb, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it on the inside.
So yeah, maybe vulva was too vulgar for wrinkly old fuckers to think about
Yeah.
without having heart attacks and killing themselves. So they had to change it to a sacred womb. So I don't know, that's my theory. Maybe that's where it came from.
I think you're right.
In most of Europe, the horseshoe is hung in the downward position.
Right.
The downward
Yeah.
horseshoe that catches the look, that
Right.
holds the look in.
Yeah, yeah.
Except in Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Except in Ireland, England, and the US, who prefer it to hang in the upward position.
It's wrecking my head now trying to think what way my nanny had hers. I'm sure it was downward. If you're saying in Ireland it's more upward, then it's probably upward. I don't fucking know.
But here's
It's
the
a long time
thing.
ago.
It was over the doorway, and
Yeah, that's what you had it, yeah. The doorway between the sitting room and the kitchen.
it was over a doorway, and that was, it's not that the person walks through look, but the doorway was considered walking into the embrace
Of love.
of
yeah.
Diana.
Oh, okay.
You know, the goddess that kind of
Yeah.
superseded and elbowed out of the nest, Artemis.
Artemis. And,
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
And then in popular culture became Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it did.
Yeah.
Did.
Maybe that's
I've
why
been
she
watching
called it.
DC movies this week, guys.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'm just-
Well, the less mic time Paul gets, the better for all of us.
Back off.
Yeah.
I like
Anyway,
them. Better than Marvel.
an Irish tale, and this is phenomenal. An Irish tale of the horseshoe goes. One day, a blacksmith was working hard at the forge when the devil appeared before him. Don't give away anything because this is fantastic.
I've heard this. Come on.
Yeah. The blacksmith, recognizing the devil instantly, nailed a burning hot horseshoe to the devil's hoof, one of his hooves. How he did that, I don't fucking know. I think he probably nailed the burning hot horseshoe to the devil's hoof after the devil appeared and was sitting cross-legged as he just popped in to have a fucking chat, and he got assaulted by this guy with a hot hoof and a fucking hammer. Anyway, he was in excruciating agony. The devil ripped the shoe from his hoof, swearing he'd never ever wear a horseshoe again, and promptly disappeared. And that's where the look came from.
Okay.
Isn't that nuts?
So you're warding off the devil with it, basically.
Apparently.
Very cool.
Apparently you are, but that's fantastic. I think that is fantastic.
Yeah, I like that one.
That is really good. So that's where they think hanging a horseshoe became good luck.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I'm not sure if it, and they all look worn, but is it a horseshoe that was changed from a horse, or is it a horseshoe that was forged and never used on a horse, or is it a horseshoe
I think it's a
that
used
was
one.
is it
It's
a
usually one
horseshoe that was thrown by a horse?
Yes, that's usually what it is.
There's not much fucking luck to be had in a horse throwing a horseshoe.
I know, yeah.
You know, that's a
But
fucking
that's
disaster.
apparently what it is, though. It is usually a thrown one, yeah.
Anyway,
And just, I mean, typically, it would be a found horseshoe, as opposed to one that, that you purchased.
that's still
So you're more likely
that still
to
infers
find-
that it was thrown.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
You're more likely to have found a thrown one, obviously, yeah. Like, you're not going out and buying a horseshoe off.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. Where's the luck to be had in finding a horseshoe that was thrown by a horse? That's potentially an accident, man.
Yeah, true.
You know,
Well,
somebody's
I suppose it
riding a
is
horse
luck in
down
that,
the road,
but
and
that's it. It was lucky for you. You weren't riding it.
yeah, it throws a horseshoe. Then
It probably
the
throws
rider,
the jockey
yeah,
too.
yeah. So yeah, fuck that shit. Interestingly, and I love these points. Interestingly, the number of holes a horseshoe has isn't arbitrary.
No, it's not.
A horseshoe's hoof is nailed with 7 nails through 7 holes.
Yeah.
7 is a revered number in cultures across the world for its frequency in natural life.
Right.
Like, it's everywhere. It's fucking everywhere. There are 7 continents. There are 7 seas. There's 7 colours in a rainbow. There's 7 days in a week. Ancient Rome was built on 7 hills.
Yeah.
The ancient Greeks worshipped the 7-headed Hydra. This did my fucking nut.
Right.
This was amazing. This ancient Greeks worshipped the 7-headed Hydra, yeah?
Yeah.
So did the Aztecs. It was the same deity.
Right.
What? That doesn't blow you away?
Yeah, it does. How did it spread from one to the other?
Fucking ancient Greeks all the way across South America.
Yeah, that's
The
mad.
same deity. Chicomaquatl.
I remember him. He was the chocolate
Nope.
guy.
Chicomaquatl. They were all they all had the coatl
Oh,
name on the end
okay,
of it.
well, that's why.
And I could be pronouncing it
Oh,
wrong.
he
And
was
if
the
I am,
chocolate-
I apologise, but I don't
The
speak it.
chocolate guy.
But Chicomaquatl was the goddess of nourishment. Her name, Chicomaquatl, who was worshipped by the Aztecs, which scientists have found is the same deity as the one worshipped by the ancient Greeks.
Right.
Her name translated into English means 7 snakes.
Okay, so
That's
Hydra
fucking
with
mind
7
blowing.
heads. So are we saying that there's possibility these gods were real?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that fucking blew my mind.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Breaking a mirror means 7 years of bad luck. We all know that. We've all
Yeah.
heard that. And even if you're not superstitious,
And that one's true.
even if you're not superstitious,
That one is true.
it's not.
It is. It
It's not.
absolutely
It
is.
fucking isn't.
It is. I broke a mirror about 20 years ago and she still hasn't let me forget about it.
Okay. That was a joke, was it? It's terrible. It's
I know.
awful, man.
I know.
Breaking a mirror means 7 years of bad luck. And you've all heard this, and you've either repeated it when you've seen someone break a mirror,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
you've heard someone repeat it. But I mean, it's everywhere, and everybody says it, even if they're not superstitious. The origins of this appear to be about 2,000 or 2,700 years ago. In Greek and Roman societies, a reflection in a pool or in polished metal was believed to have mysterious powers.
Okay.
You know, and they would have believed in like the gods, and
Yeah.
they Greeks would have had who Zeus and all those.
Yeah, wasn't it one of
fucking-
the gods gave one of the what's it they call the half human, half god, the demigods, isn't it? The ones that go down.
Yeah.
Didn't one of the gods gift one of them a mirror or something?
Oh, we went through that. That was
They were
Athena.
and they were able to see
That was Athena.
into
Gave it to
Perseus.
Perseus. That's
Yes,
him. Yeah.
yes.
Go back and listen to that episode, everybody. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
The Greeks believed that a person's reflection revealed their soul.
So kind of like the Native Americans when cameras first came around and they were
Believed
kind of
it
reluctant.
steal their souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were reluctant
The
to
Romans
like it.
believed it was a way for the gods to observe mortals on earth.
That's
And in some of
that's
the
what I was thinking of.
in some
Right,
of the
that's
movies
the
I've
one I was
seen,
thinking of.
the Jason and the Argonauts or whoever
Yeah.
the fuck it was,
That's what it was.
you'd see Zeus or whoever it was looking into the mirror and
to
watching.
see what's up to on Earth. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
watching.
exactly what
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
That was it. Yes.
Yeah, that's nuts. But anyway, so they didn't kind of lick it off a rock when they were writing that story. They
No, of
they
course,
kind of went into legend and folklore, and they found that.
Mm.
This shocked me. This disgusted me. This is fucking awful. And I know it's a legend and there's no truth to it. But somebody wrote this. This came from somebody's mind when they dreamed up this story. And I was like, what the fuck? It's like an ancient Greek or ancient Roman sociopath. Fucking nuts. Okay. In Greek legend, Narcissus, a hunter from Thespia, was the most desirable man in the world.
And you know what Thespia was really famous for?
Actors.
Well, yeah, theatre.
Theatre.
Theatre,
Thespians.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
where the
yeah,
word, yeah.
yeah.
Thespian comes from.
Thespians. Okay. I'll never forget that now. In the gnome world, he was the most desirable man in the gnome world. He was...
In his own head, he was anyway.
Well,
Narcissist.
that's where narcissism comes
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
But apparently he was. That's the legend
Okay.
that somebody wrote that he was. Okay?
Right.
So remember Narcissus, right?
Mm.
Narcissus was the best looking guy on the planet,
Yeah.
according to legend
Mm.
and himself.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's where narcissism, all that came from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hera, the queen of the gods and wife of Zeus, was totally enraptured listening to Echo, a mountain nymph and an amazing conversationalist. So she could talk the hind legs of a donkey. Right? And she was amazing to listen to. And you were just captivated by what she was saying. And that was Hera at the moment. While she was captivated by what Echo was saying, Zeus was having a threesome with 2 other mountain nymphs.
Jesus
He was
Christ.
a philandering fucker.
I know, yeah.
Right? Okay. But,
Flatter of the gods, it's a privilege, isn't it?
Well, so he was having his way with 2 other mountain nymphs. Realising what Zeus was at, but not being able to do squat about it because he's the king of the gods.
Yeah.
Hera lost the plot with Echo, the mountain nymph.
She blamed her for it.
Well, yeah, the gods seem to have a habit of doing this, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they fucking did it to Medusa.
I can't take it out on who I want to take it out on, so I'm just going to take it out on somebody.
I'm just going to blame you. Yeah. So go back and listen to the whole Medusa episode if you don't know what we're talking about, but it's nuts. Yeah. But anyway, so she lost...
In short, all the Greek gods were bastards.
Yeah, they were. She lost the plot with Echo because Echo was distracting her and Zeus was having a threesome while she was looking the other way.
Right.
Kind of thing, okay?
Yeah. Because she was busy with Echo, Zeus thought, here's me chance.
Yeah, so he went off and he was doing his bit while his wife is in the kitchen talking to somebody else. You know, that kind of way?
Yeah.
Okay. For Echo's deception, Hera took her away her ability to talk, which is, it's being struck dumb. Being struck dumb is bad in itself.
But for someone who's a fantastic orator.
Yeah, who's a great orator and conversationalist, and it's kind of the core of her being kind of thing.
But is there
then
a thing,
it's pretty bad.
Are we looking at that myth in the right way? Did she intentionally...
She may have, she may not have, but either way, whether she did or not...
Was she complicit in the other 2 shagging Zeus?
I didn't read that she categorically was. I didn't read that she wasn't. But she got blamed. And she may have been the innocent party in all this. Zeus being an absolute wanker...
He gets away with it anyway,
said, fucking take this element, and he went off with 2 others. Okay?
Exactly,
so, for Echo's deception, if she was involved in it, Hera took away her ability to talk, save for only being able to repeat the last 1 or 2 things another says.
And her name was what again?
Echo.
That makes sense.
As a result, no one wanted to be in her company anymore. And slowly she became isolated and wandered aimlessly.
Aimlessly.
Now remember, I said to you
see how annoying that gets?
Ancient Greek sociopaths.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fuck them. One day in a wood, she spied a hunter more beautiful than anyone she had ever seen in her life. Who was it? Narcissus. Narcissus had many suitors, but wanted none of them. And not being able to start a conversation, Echo stayed hidden and just followed him. So she was staying outside and staying hidden, going, my God, this is the most attractive thing I've ever seen, but I can't say.
I can't speak to him.
I can't say it. Constantly hearing someone behind him, but seeing no one every time he turned around, Narcissus shouted, "Who's there? Show yourself, you bollocks." Or whatever.
Yourself.
Show yourself. Echo emerged from her hiding place, but said nothing. "Who are you?" Narcissus said. All she could say was you.
Jesus Christ.
Echo took Narcissus by the hand in a vain attempt to try and evoke an emotional response or convey her feelings for him. Okay?
Yeah.
And he pulled his hand away and he said something along the lines of, "What am I supposed to love you? Is that what this is? Am I supposed to love you?" And all she could say was, "Love you, love you, love you." So she was conveying what she said by echoing his words. Okay? Narcissus, because he was a wanker, said, "I'd rather die than love you," and walked away. And all she could say still was, "Love you, love you, love you." Heartbroken, Echo drifted away and wandered into a cave. And as her body wasted away, all that was left was her voice drifting on the wind.
And that's where echo comes from.
Isn't that fucking devastating?
It's
Some
horrible, yeah.
mad bastard thought that up. When I read it and I was like, Jesus, that's fucking awful.
It's terrible, yeah.
Isn't that fucking terrible, man?
You gotta go looking for echo in the mountains.
Yeah.
There,
So, yeah, and don't fucking talk to Hera because Zeus might fuck off and do something. That's brutal. That's awful. As previously mentioned, Narcissus the asshole had many suitors. Okay? Now, one who was similarly rejected by the name of Arminius was just as cruelly rejected as Echo was.
Right.
Arminius was a dude, okay?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
a very
well,
male name, yeah.
You know, love is love, man.
Yeah, yeah. You know, just wasn't sure that the Greek myths were that progressive.
I've never read one that kind of went boys love girls and girls love boys and that's fucking it. It's always been very fluid kind of stories and shit like that. So
awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, before he died, and I assume it was by suicide because he'd been cruelly rejected, he prayed to the goddess of revenge, Nemesis.
Ah,
isn't that dead?
Isn't it great where we get all our words from? All these words that come into
and that's when I read them, I was going, fucking hell.
Yeah, so Echo, Nemesis, Narcissist.
Yeah. So he prayed to Nemesis to punish Narcissus for his cruelty. She cursed him to become infatuated with his reflection, and he died gazing at his reflection in a pool, a clear pool of water.
And not eating and not doing anything. And
just looking, and every
himself,
time he reached out to touch himself, every time he reached out to touch his reflection, the water rippled and he disappeared momentarily. So he could never, ever get to it. So he just stayed looking at himself.
Jesus.
Yeah. And he died looking at his reflection in a pool. He turned into a load of narcissus flowers.
Oh.
Or better known as daffodils. Isn't that deadly? Yeah, narcissus flowers. And when I read it, it said narcissus flowers, and I was like, I never fucking heard of that. So I looked it up. Daffodils.
Daffodils are there.
Isn't that nuts?
So if you know any narcissists out there, now you know what to give them for Valentine's.
Give them a fucking daffodil. Yeah. Breaking a mirror. Right, that's 7 years of bad luck.
Yeah, that's where we started with this one, yeah.
Yeah, that was deemed 7 years of bad luck.
If you were a narcissist.
Because initially it was a lifetime of bad luck.
Right.
But that's too long.
Yeah.
That's too long. And it only started to come into inverted commas fashion as bad luck when glass started to be made. Because up until then, pools of water, whether it's in a bowl or a basin or whatever, was the mirror or highly polished metal which the Romans did. And that was expensive and time consuming.
Yeah.
So when they manufactured glass, and some genius put together ingredients that made it even more reflective, mirror-like, then they started, and they said a lifetime of bad luck, that's too fucking much. So let's do
7 years.
Let's do 7 years. Yeah. If you break a mirror to negate the bad luck that you've just incurred by breaking it, throw salt over your right shoulder.
Oh, my ma used to do that
in the devil's eye, and crawl. Your ma didn't do this. And crawl under the table, exiting on the other side.
No. No, if you spill salt, you throw salt over your right shoulder. That's what my ma used to do.
I thought was it not spill milk?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Way back.
Anyway.
But I'm sure it was no.
So
if you drop salt, you threw some over your right shoulder. Yeah, definitely.
Or spin around 3 times counterclockwise. Don't do that clockwise shit because that doesn't do anything for the bad luck. It has to be counterclockwise.
Right. Clockwise probably invokes the devil or something.
I haven't a clue. People are weird.
Yeah. People are strange.
Or gather up all the pieces and toss them into a south-flowing river.
Yeah, because I've got one of those.
Fucking
handy.
Hell. For someone to fucking stand on. Is this... Get out your compass and find out if the river you're about to wade in flows south, and if it does, don't fucking do it. Or bury the shards after you've collected all of them. I mean all of them. Like you can't miss any of them. Bury the shards in a deep hole in the ground so the bad spirits can't find them.
Okay, well that's fine. All you gotta do is put it in your bin then.
There's loads of other solutions.
It's going to end up in landfill, so.
There's loads of other solutions for breaking a mirror, but I couldn't be arsed looking up at them because they're all a lot of bollocks.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
I stopped looking up and writing them down when I heard myself shouting, "Fuck off!"
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's it, I'm done. And so it was time to stop. I don't know when the next Friday the 13th is.
Don't know.
Hang on.
Anyway, for the rest of today, be mindful.
Yeah.
Have good luck.
Well,
Don't walk under ladders. And
knock on wood.
And if you happen to be up around the mountains and you hear you.
Yeah, if you hear an echo.
Spare a tough.
Every time, you know what? Every time you hear an echo, think of that fucking story. That's
spare the
devastating.
tough for poor old echo, yeah.
And think of the sociopath that thought that up. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
And the Greeks were nuts, man.
Go out and fucking meet someone. Go out and talk to your friends, for fuck's sake.
I mean, you know what they say? Beware the Greeks bearing gifts. I mean, falling for the Trojan fucking horse. It should be beware the Greeks bearing gifts. They're complete idiots.
Sorry, Greece.
Greeks.
He does that. And just be
I
great.
stole that from Red Dwarf.
Just be grateful he's not doing an impression of your accent.
I don't know what Greek people sound like.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it, Friday the 13th. And the next Friday the 13th, we will do Superstitions 3.
So stay safe out there, guys.
Stay safe. Have a great weekend. See you later.